A single knife can create a tornado, a miniature whirlwind that can pick up objects and throw them across a room. Imagine a situation where a simple object, a knife, can produce a force strong enough to create a miniature whirlwind. This phenomenon occurs when the knife is thrown with sufficient force and spin, creating a vortex of air that can pick up objects and throw them across a room. The speed and spin of the knife create a low-pressure area at the tip, drawing in surrounding air and creating a whirlwind. But that's not the strangest part. The whirlwind can also be strong enough to knock over small objects and even cause minor damage. The science behind this is rooted in the principles of aerodynamics and fluid dynamics. When the knife is thrown, it creates a vortex of air that can reach speeds of up to 100 km/h, creating a miniature tornado. The whirlwind is so strong that it can even pick up objects as light as a feather and carry them across a room. To understand this phenomenon, imagine a grain of sand containing an entire library of books. The amount of information and energy contained in the whirlwind is incredibly vast. But how does this happen? The answer lies in the combination of speed and spin of the knife.
As the knife is thrown, it creates a vortex of air that expands rapidly, creating a low-pressure area at the center.
The low-pressure area draws in surrounding air, creating a whirlwind that can reach speeds of up to 100 km/h. The spin of the knife also plays a crucial role in creating the whirlwind, as it creates a rotation of air that amplifies the effect. But that's not the only factor. The shape and size of the knife also play a role in creating the whirlwind. A longer and thinner knife will create a more intense whirlwind than a shorter and wider knife. The type of knife also matters. A knife with a sharp edge will create a more intense whirlwind than a knife with a dull edge. The material of the knife also affects the whirlwind. A knife made of a denser material will create a more intense whirlwind than a knife made of a lighter material. But wait until you hear what comes next. The whirlwind can also be affected by the surroundings. The shape and size of the room, as well as the presence of any obstacles, can affect the whirlwind's strength and direction. To understand this, imagine a building with a large open space. The whirlwind will spread out and lose its intensity. But in a smaller room with obstacles, the whirlwind will be more focused and intense. The whirlwind can also be affected by the presence of any objects in the room. Large objects can disrupt the whirlwind, while smaller objects can be picked up and carried away. The whirlwind can also be affected by the temperature and humidity of the surroundings. A warmer and more humid environment will create a more intense whirlwind. But what does this mean? The whirlwind created by a knife is a fascinating phenomenon that can teach us a lot about the principles of aerodynamics and fluid dynamics. It shows us how a simple object, a knife, can produce a force strong enough to create a miniature whirlwind. The whirlwind can also be used to create a range of effects, from creating a small tornado to generating electricity. The science behind the whirlwind is still not fully understood, and there is much to be learned about this phenomenon. But one thing is certain: the whirlwind created by a knife is a fascinating and complex phenomenon that can teach us a lot about the principles of aerodynamics and fluid dynamics. So, what can we do with this knowledge? We can use it to create new technologies and innovations. The whirlwind created by a knife can be used to create a range of effects, from creating a small tornado to generating electricity. The science behind the whirlwind is still not fully understood, and there is much to be learned about this phenomenon. But one thing is certain: the whirlwind created by a knife is a fascinating and complex phenomenon that can teach us a lot about the principles of aerodynamics and fluid dynamics. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more incredible stories like this. And let me know in the comments what fascinates you most about the whirlwind created by a knife. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content.